What's up, everyone? Welcome to another director's commentary, this time for my short film Julius, which is my entry into the 2016 Los Angeles 48-hour film contest. I feel like every year I do the contest, I always put like a special challenge on myself in addition to the contest rules in order to, challenge myself as a filmmaker and learn and grow and get better. This year was no different. The first year that I did the contest, we did Procrastination, which was a musical that I pulled out of the genre hat. So that was a unique challenge to shoot and write and direct a musical in 2 days. Second year, I did Beyond the Stars, which is a drama, and I wanted to mix in a little bit of sci-fi, but the challenge I had for myself that year was I wanted to incorporate some visual effects and do that, because not a lot of people do that in the contest. Last year, the third year that I did it, my special challenge to myself was to shoot inside of an airplane, which ended up being Plane of Existence, so we did that. And of course with additional visual effects and things like that. And then this year, the special challenge I had for myself that I really wanted to do was I wanted to do a one-take movie with no cuts. I just wanted to do a 5-minute Steadicam shot, and that's Julius. It was really challenging in a lot of ways. The production was kind of like peppered with trials and tribulations since day one. I rented equipment from lensrentals.com, but I forgot to get something. We had trouble with the location. The guy that showed us the location smelled really bad. When I got the equipment, it didn't have the right peripherals on it. I had a hard time exposing the scene correctly. We didn't have a makeup person. It was just kind of one thing after another. But it's a piece of work that I'm really proud of because I set out to do it. And I accomplished that goal of doing a one-take Steadicam shot. And of course, this was the hardest thing that I'd ever done before. It was the largest cast and crew that I'd ever worked with. There was, I think it was like 24 people total working together simultaneously to hit their marks and to say their lines at just the right place at the right time. There was a lot of talented people involved, and I'm super happy that it is where it is today. And I'm really happy to share it with you guys today and give you an inside look, so let's check it out. So one thing that you might notice about the look of the film here is that, I added a lot of film grain to it, and a lot of fake film grain, and a lot of scratches and dirt and stuff like that, in order to kind of emulate film and give it a unique characteristic that shows that it's a period piece. It was one of the easiest ways for us to kind of tie it together because besides the content of what's going on, we wanted to kind of give it a really special look that that said period piece. You can see, look, there's no camera on that tripod over there. What were they doing? Just rehearsing, maybe? I don't know. So here you can see, the dividing walls between a lot of these rooms in this studio area that we shot in. And we got really lucky. We ended up using pretty much all of the rooms to kind of show that something was going on, that this was like a hustling, bustling, movie set where, there's like lots of people involved. And it turned out really well. Another thing that you might notice about the look of the film is the skin tones. The skin tones, they look, they're kind of red, actually. And it's actually an intentional look because, we were looking at different movies from back in the 50s and 60s and stuff like that. And it turns out that some of the film stock and the color timing that they used to do with these movies, the skin tones were like kind of red, and you can see some green in their hair and stuff like that, and I pulled up like screenshots of like Spartacus and Ben-Hur and stuff, and that's what it was like. Even like her red jacket, you can see it's almost orange. Just because of the way that the film replicated the color, so I tried to go for that best that I could, and as a special characteristic of the film. It's funny when she says Orange Julius, I was kind of thinking to myself, I don't even remember how it came up, but I think we were kicking around the idea of making like some kind of old corporation like about to buy the studio or something, and I looked it up on Wikipedia, and I think Orange Julius had been around for like such a long time, and it was like a double name because we were trying to kind of like, make it feel like Hail Caesar a little bit. And so I don't know why, but it just stuck. And later in the movie, we decided we couldn't use it. It was a corporate name. So if you look in the back right, you can see, Yamaguchi getting knocked out, and you can see the frame is going to start to kind of zoom in a little bit on these two characters, and that's actually like an artificial zoom. I had to scale it up in post because in this particular shot, that this is the one that we wanted to use. Yamaguchi, he gets up and like walks away, like walks around the corner, and I was laughing like, well, we have to frame that out because he's not going to be, he's got knocked out or killed or whatever. Why is he walking around? So this little film glitch that you saw, that was just a little trick that I added in order to, kind of cover the fact that we didn't have really great audio. It was really difficult to run around, on a Steadicam all over the place and get the shot that we wanted, and also get really close with audio and stuff like that, because we were moving really quickly with the shot. There's always some kind of constant movement, and that's what makes it dynamic and interesting, but it was very difficult. So we recorded some audio afterwards, especially like her screaming, and it was difficult because it was just like really clipped and it was just really bad. So I decided to kind of cover it with that, film glitch look, and it also kind of is supposed to remind the audience a little bit that, that you're still watching a period piece. So that was kind of cool. You might see or notice in this scene here that there's like a ton of green all over the place, especially on their shoulders and just coming down from the ceiling. And it looks a little weird because the only lights that we had access to that wasn't casting shadows on the actors from the crew was directly above us, and they had like a yellow lens on them, and it was very difficult to get that out in color grading. I did the best that I could, but we were on such a tight schedule. You did the best that you can. So here's one cut in the movie, right there. So technically it's not a full 5-minute one-take movie, but it's pretty damn close because the very last line was only just a few seconds, so I was okay with cutting it. But the reason why we cut it was because she actually said the line wrong to begin with, and I didn't realize that. I wanted to use that take, but decided that we had to correct the line at the end, so I snipped off the end of a different take and put it on the end. And it turns out even that wasn't right because there was an extra word in there. So there it is. You've got a 5-minute one-take movie. The results of the film project contest were a little less than satisfactory. It turns out that we actually got disqualified because the required line at the end of the movie wasn't exactly right. I got a phone call from the city producers, and they said, hey, look, I got some good news and bad news. The bad news is that your film was disqualified because the line wasn't right. The good news is that the judges loved it. They were blown away by it. One of the producers was like, it was like my favorite film. I really thought you had a great piece together. It was super technically amazing. And she said, the judges had you listed for nominated for every category. So that was tough to hear that, but it did still screen the movie at the Best Of down at the Regal Theater in downtown LA. Halfway through the screening night, Liz turned to me and showed me a text message from one of our main characters, Evan. It turns out that Evan is next door neighbors with one of the judges for the film contest, and he said, "Oh, had it not been for the fact that the line was incorrect, we might have won." So that was tough to hear as well, but it gave me a lot of hope in the sense that the thing that we accomplished was a solid piece of work. It was a pretty amazing piece to put together in 2 days. And I'm really happy with it. And to top things off, they gave me an award that said outstanding achievements, and it had Julius, it was a little award. And I was super thankful that they gave that to me and that they recognized me, right before they started giving awards out. It was very nice of them. I actually took that award out to the bar with me later when we were out afterwards celebrating, and I forgot about it and I left it at the bar. And I called them up later and I said, "Hey, I left my certificate there. Do you have it?" And they said, "Oh, well, somebody actually spilled something on it, so we threw it out." So all in all, it was just, a really crazy ride, and we still have an amazing product in terms of like what we accomplished, and I'm like really happy about that. Hope you had as much fun watching it as we did making it. If you want to check out some more cool short films in the future, be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.